Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 148 for June 11th, 2025. I am Nemesis and I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
We are back after quite a bit of a break, over a month now.
Yep.
We've been gone. Things happen in the anime world, things happen in the real world.
Lots of things happen.
Things are happening in the real world.
Yes.
In the anime world, a couple things I noticed which I want to briefly mention. Unfortunately, I saw one was disappointing, which is Toei Animation has announced that they have integrated generative AI into their workflow for like backgrounds and stuff. So that's fun. Note to self, avoid Toei Animation stuff from here on out. At least newer stuff.
Yeah.
That's one thing. So yeah, if a Toei Animation pops up in the roulette for future episodes, then I'm just gonna cut it out because I don't care.
Yep.
We're not gonna give them.
I'm not gonna support.
I'm going to avoid supporting AI as much as possible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of these companies are forcing it on you now. So
a lot of them will put it in without saying either.
Yeah. The other thing was, finally more details about the Love Live Bluebird thing popped up too. If they just showed off all the characters and stuff, and it seems like it's not going to be an anime. Unfortunately, it's going to be like the Link Like Love thing, which is going to be online web series live stream via YouTube with the like the VTubers do with the 3D models and mocap and all that. It looks like, at least for now. And then also it seems like it's like, because I remember that trailer was kind of dark in tone and everything, and it seems like where'd the dark tone go?
Reel that back in.
Unless it's going to be a big thing later on, it feels like they just kind of, it's just more Love Live like usual.
You say that like you wouldn't watch it anyway.
I'm just disappointed because I was hoping for an anime. I was hoping for more of a darker spin to it, and they're not doing that, it looks like.
Yeah, sticking with the...
And yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they're also, again, with the live streaming thing, which, again, they're not doing anything for the non-Japanese speaking audiences anymore, it seems like. It seems like they completely abandoned that.
That sucks.
Particularly sucks because recently the ice cream song really blew up in the memes and everything, and like this is the perfect time to strike. Like even if it's just advertising old Love Live stuff, the West is starting to pick up again on Love Live, and now they're losing interest again because you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for example, the first Nijigaseki movie still isn't officially translated in English. It's been out on Blu-ray over in Japan for like several months now. It's still not available. Not even an announcement or anything. So that's very exciting. And also the other thing what happened, I guess I want to talk about briefly, was during our little break, a whole anime came out. Lycoris, Recoil, Friends Are Thieves Are Time.
Yeah, I guess you can say a whole anime.
Well, it was a whole series.
Yes, technically it was. That is correct.
The whole thing, 6 episodes, 6 short episodes. I think we talked about was coming out, and now it came out. And I just want to talk about it briefly because we're never going to have a full episode dedicated to it.
Oh, no.
There's no reason to.
They're tiny.
But I will just say it was very nice seeing Takana and Chisato and all them again.
It was. It was nice to see
doing
them
their
again.
goofy little things, goofy jokes, and what was the other thing there? Yeah, some of the stories. It's like you have just them talking, and then look, there's Takana having a gun in her back of her work uniform.
Yep.
And it's like no big deal, no big deal.
That's just standard. That's part of the course for her.
Or another attempt at a dessert, which kind of went wrong. That's a butt.
Yeah. Again, part of the course.
Yeah. Or a confirmation that ghosts are real, I guess. That was fun. And a thief just showing up at the showing so Takana actually does want to put on the red uniform. But also Takana is incredibly scary.
Yes.
Has what's her face found
oh yeah. Yeah. I don't remember her name.
Subaru.
It was a Subaru?
Subaru, yeah, the red, the one in blue with the short hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Fuki is her partner, yeah. So she found out Takana is very scary when she wants to be.
Very scary.
And also then confirmation at the very end that the whole thing takes place before the epilogue of the first season. Because at the end of the final episode, they're going to Hawaii.
Yep, they're going to Hawaii.
So yeah, it was very fun, and they haven't actually, I don't think they've officially confirmed yet, but I know they're doing something this month that they're going to talk about Lycoris Recoil a bit. So hopefully season 2 will be announced. I think it's all but confirmed at this point.
That would be really nice. Getting another season of that. We'll absolutely have to watch it.
Well, yeah, and of course, also at the end of every episode for the Friends of Thieves of Time, they kept using the ED, at least part of it, part of the first bit of the ED before it went silent, and then for the final episode they finally used the full ED.
Yes.
It was like, yay! It was so nice hearing that again.
It was a good ED.
It was a good show, and it was a fun time seeing them again, and yeah.
Yep.
But anyway.
Good times.
Regardless, moving on from that to the actual main discussion of this one, because guess what? It is June, and it is more important than ever to show your pride.
Yes.
But yeah. So once again, we're going from kind of the implied gay we usually do to the blatantly gay for June. Yeah. So we're starting off with starting off this month because we know.
Right. Starting off this month, not this episode.
The magical revolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady, or Tensei Ojo to Tensai Reijo no Maho Kakume, or as most people call it, MagiRevo.
Just MagiRevo.
Because it's a lot shorter.
It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah, so we talked about this briefly, actually, way back in February of 2023 as part of our little sampler thing for that winter. Well, we watched the first few episodes, generally liked it, and never came back to it because I kept getting pushed back for other things. Basically, I always meant to come back to it, never got to it till now.
We're doing it now.
We're doing it now, more than 2 years later, but we're doing it finally. So, in case it's been a while, so as a bit of a summarization, hopefully I can do this a little quicker. The reincarnated princess, namely Anisphia Wien Paletia. She's a princess. She, unfortunately, unlike most nobility, she cannot do magic, but she loves it dearly, and she's been trying to do this whole magic thing. She's got a brother who is now going to be set to the throne, but he's kind of a dickbag.
As we find out.
Yeah. And his whole thing where he was engaged to a girl named Euphilia Magenta, who then he annuls the engagement, and then Anisphia takes her and takes her assistant, and then they fall in love, and they also have to do some things, including fighting her brother and fighting a dragon, and also starting a revolution, a magical one.
Yeah, sort of.
And at the end with there's a whole bunch of stuff at the end, kind of a happy ending of sorts. Although they make it very clear this is only the beginning of the story, considering the manga and light novels is based on are still ongoing.
Yes.
Yeah, they make it pretty clear. This anime is just the beginning of their story. But what a beginning! Because in the end, this is a really wonderful one. Honestly, this is really wonderful anime.
Yeah. Overall, before we get into some of the nitty gritty, I did definitely enjoy it. There's some weirdness, I think, in some like the pacing. I think, I guess, I'm missing some words here. I want to say pacing. That's probably the closest word to it. I was like, it's an odd way to do it. But overall, definitely enjoyable. The characters I think were all really well written. Story seems pretty good too. I definitely want to see more. Like, I know there's more in the book content, but I would definitely like to see more seasons.
Probably not going to happen because that's the thing about. Unfortunately, Yuri anime is the joke. The curse of Yuri anime is you only get one season.
I know, and I wish we got more.
Unless you're gushing over Magical Girls, for some reason you get 2 seasons.
Yeah,
mostly because that one exploded in popularity for no apparent reason. Yeah, unfortunately, like even if you're big for one, like Bloom Into You could be wrapped up with one more season. Still haven't seen it. It's been years since Bloom Into You season 1.
Yeah, but overall, yeah, really good.
Yes, really, really good anime. Really fun characters and whatnot. Particularly Anisphia herself was fun. And Magenta is also pretty fun too. Magenta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anisphia is very much the whole thing about it. She is very irreverent to the rules,
and she's a free spirit.
She's irreverent. She's kind of does her own thing. She's kind of gets yelled at by her dad a lot because she keeps doing things
not princess-like,
not princessy enough. And then of course on top of that, again, like we said, she has no magic ability whatsoever. She can, unlike most nobility, she cannot wield magic, at least not directly.
Yeah, and
she has figured out a way to use magic height.
Yeah,
which is a thing of stone, basically.
Yeah, they sort of not really explain that. Sort of the way it is, the nobles all can use magic, and that's kind of an important thing about the noble family is that they're blessed by the spirits and they can cast magic and do stuff, but she can't, so something's wrong. But she loves magic. Mm-hmm. She found that the magical beasts in the area have a thing called magicite in them, and she can harvest that and create things that have magical capabilities so that she can use magic without actually being able to cast it herself. And she creates cool inventions.
Yeah, she has a mana blade, for example.
Exactly.
She also made a kettle.
She made a kettle.
Which heats, rather than you don't have to have a fire.
She also has a broom.
That's a broom to fly because, witches fly, right?
And they fly on brooms.
And everyone else is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Because remember, Reincarnated Princess is the title.
Yes. It is technically an isekai.
Yeah, that's a weird one. It's like, is this an isekai? And it pops up in episode 1, and then you never see it again until the very end.
The isekai part is somewhat important, but not really. In a sense, it's like it's actually super important, but also you kind of completely forget about it because it's actually not important. But it is. But it's not. But it is. But
it explains where she gets some of her ideas and inventions. Because she has memories of her past life. Yeah, but again, in the anime, I don't know how different it is in the mangas, but in the anime, it's there in episode 1, and you don't see it again until the very end.
I read some of the manga, and they do in the beginning of the manga, they do briefly touch on she is reincarnated, and then move on. They just kind of. She has memories of that's why they explained that this is why she's doing things, because she has some memories, although it's eventually explained that actually she has more memory of her past life than it's implied. Early on it's kind of implied, it's somewhat vague, and no, it's actually she has a lot more of memory of it than she lets on,
right?
Because she doesn't want to tell people about it because they think she's crazy. I mean, already on top of that, I mean, people already dislike her. Don't want to add another thing.
Yeah, you don't want to give them another reason to.
There's this whole thing. It's almost a religious thing about magic, and what she's doing with magicite is kind of seen as heresy.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be that you're blessed by the spirits, which are a thing, and that's what grants you your nobility and gives you the right to control the kingdom. Is that the spirits said you could.
And the fact that she's doing these not only making these things, they find that kind of bad. They also the idea that she's want to make these things and make them available to the common people.
And that's the other big one.
Because of course we cannot let the commoners have anything nice because they're commoners.
Yeah.
Only we can have nice things because we're the nobility.
Yeah, only the nobility can. We don't
want the in real life. I know the nobility in the medieval times, the nobility hated it when the peasants actually, had fun.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be like us. The gap is important. It's
know your place.
Exactly. Not many things have changed since then.
Yep. The titles have changed.
Names have changed, but the place is still the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so beyond that, that's the thing is, but yeah, she desperately wants to be able to use magic to the point of, she fought the dragon, but,
we'll get to the dragon.
But yeah, the thing was, the whole thing was that Ophelia and the prince, her brother, which his name is Algard von Palatia. Algard.
Alucard? No, not Alucard.
Algard. They are engaged because, because Ophelia, the whole thing about Ophelia is, she's the genius young lady part. She's very, very good at magic, and she uses magic in ways that a lot of people just never, occurred to them. She's just really good with magic and figuring out how to use it in ways and all that stuff. She's a genius.
And she's from a very noble family.
Yeah, she's a high nobility family, particularly the prime minister's daughter.
Yep.
Who we find the prime minister and the king are both best friends and have been for years.
Yep.
So yeah, she's really good with magic, and so she's highly regarded. So of course it makes sense for her to be the noble to get to get the prince's hand, because the prince is the one who's supposed to be the next in line for the throne.
Yep.
Because Anisphia, she abdicated hers because we find out later, but she abdicated it, and it seemed like all right because that means cool. Now we get a male, because there's the whole thing. There's never been a queen in charge before.
Yep.
No, also never been a royal who doesn't have magic before either. So her just abdicating to him just seemed like the right thing, although he seems to have a weird thing going on. But in which way, he's instead all close and all shoulder to shoulder with Lainey Cyan.
It's a random former commoner, Lainey.
Yep. She was adopted into a royal family, and now she is not royal, but a noble family.
Yep.
And now she's nobility, so eventually announces very publicly that he's breaking the engagement with Ophelia, claiming that Ophelia did horrible things to Lainey.
Yeah.
Euphilia is very confused because, no?
No, she did not.
But multiple people coming forward saying they saw it and that there's proof and everything. It's confusing. And then Anisphia, who's going on a test flight with her broom, crashes through the window and he says, I'm taking her. Bye.
Oh, you don't want her? I'll have her.
Yep. Much to her father's chagrin.
Because there's a thing here.
Yeah, because also one of the things we find about Anisphia is at one point when she was younger said she told her she didn't want to marry a man, she wants to marry a woman.
Yep. Just blatant right up front. Yep. I'm gay.
Yep. Anyway, which way takes Euphilia as her assistant, and so it kind of makes Euphilia a new blade, which has magic infusion and everything. So she basically do the really wild with her magic.
Yep. Use it as a
wand,
basically a wand. Yeah.
And a sword.
A wand and a sword. Sword. Yes.
Swand.
A swand. It's a swand.
Yeah. But yeah, they wound up finding a dragon too because of. What was it? There was the whole thing where it's like the dragon shows up, and then
all the beasts run away.
All these beasts are running away from it, which means they're kind of coming towards the kingdom, which is bad.
Yep.
The thing, the dragons are not exactly pushovers. And,
no,
but Anisphia initially tries to fight the dragon herself, and it doesn't quite succeed. And then Euphilia joins because, you need my help, and they beat the dragon.
Yeah.
And
there's this whole argument. It's a common argument that pops up in a lot of places. It's very tropey. No, I can do it myself. I have to do it by myself because you're going to get hurt. Well, you're going to get hurt if you do it by yourself. So I'm going to help you. No, but you can't get hurt. Yeah. But no, I have to help you.
That's actually a big crux in general. The two of them.
Yeah, it happens multiple times in this anime for different reasons.
The thing is, she says the dragon curses her.
Curses.
Curses Anisphia. It's basically she gets some sort of knowledge.
Knowledge and/or wisdom.
Yeah, and from there she gets she gets herself a tattoo and that lets her and everything.
Yeah, takes the magicite from the dragon, turns it into a powder, into a tattoo that is then imprinted onto her back.
Yes, and that lets her use this dragon magic essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things the person who does the tattoo is Tilty.
Tilty's cool.
Yeah, secret best girl.
Tilty's pretty good.
She just has a girlfriend. Unfortunately, she didn't get one.
She does. Yeah, she does need.
She deserves
one though. She
deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tilty. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one thing I know is different. In the anime, they introduced Tilty a lot sooner than they do in the manga.
Right.
They changed that because she's in the first episode. She did not appear that early in the manga. She did not appear till her. I think till Euphilia was assistant already. So it took her. Yeah, so they did things differently. But yeah, Tilty. Yeah, was there. Tilty collects curses and.
Tilty's a goth girl.
Yeah, she's basically a goth girl.
She's the goth girl.
And she collects curses and stuff. Turns out she could do magic too, but the problem with her is the magic kind of messes up her head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she kind of starts doing. She kind of loses it because we see later, we find out. You feel shocked because Tilty has darn near, basically this absurd level of precision with her magic. But again, she doesn't use it very often because seems like she might be cursed. Which is part of the reason why she collects curses.
But yeah, she's very good with them. She knows how they work. Which means she's a very good source of information on how to research magic and understand it.
She also
deal with it.
She and Annie as well. Annie is a
Anis.
Anis Sama.
Anis Sama. You don't have to come. Yeah.
They're best friends. Potential, a couple of scenes I would say there's potential implication that Tilty may kind of feel a little bit more, but is scared to actually say it. But
maybe also Tilty's personality is one that
she's never going to outright say.
No, she never would.
She's just trying to hope the dumbass eventually picks up on it.
Well, and that's will she even understand it for herself too?
I don't know.
I kind of wish she. I think she does because she recognizes.
I feel like there's a couple scenes where
Goofy.
she kind of is hinting towards the idea because she talks about the one bit she talks about Anna's about just run. That's the two of them running away together.
Yeah,
just the two of them. What are you trying to say, Tilty? And of course, Anis doesn't get it. Of course, that's not that point.
I have comments about Anis and that, but it's for
Yuffie. At this point, Anis is pretty much kind of already has a bit of a thing for Yuffie again, though. We don't. She's kind of trying to bury it, I guess, probably because she doesn't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
I mean, early on, she kind of, hey,
You're pretty.
implies, oh, you're pretty. Also, hey, can I sleep in your bed? What? His problem is that, no, I won't get handsy, I swear.
I swear. Yeah, because that was... Because Yuffie knows about Anis's orientation because they had the conversation shortly after after Anis picked her up. They went to talk to Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Both of their dads actually were there.
Yep.
And Dad's like, are you really wanting her as an assistant, or is it more than that? Because this whole thing, remember?
Yeah, I know I know what you are.
I know what you are.
Yeah. So now Euphilia knows what, and then it's like awkward initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also Anis also has their maid Ilya.
Ilya's cool.
Who's very much one of the few people who's willing to just basically, besides I guess the king himself.
Yeah, but it's
basically,
expected that the king can.
But you'll tell Anis off.
Yeah.
Basically tell her knock it off, or or pick on her, I guess, as Anis likes to put it.
Yep.
Yeah, but for the most part, Ilya just kind of very, very much a proper maid.
Very much a
always
proper
at
maid.
attention, ready to do her best duty, and then but also also willing to be kind of snarky. Very roundabout ways of kind of somewhat occasionally insulting Anis.
Yep. Yep.
It's kind of weirdly. It's that weird thing. She's somehow simultaneously blunt and roundabout about everything. Like she makes it very clear what she's talking about without outright saying what she's talking about.
Yeah. Anis is great.
Yeah, she's a fun one.
She's great.
And yeah, the thing, and Lainey there. As they find out, like Lainey's completely like it's like, okay, is Lainey working? What's Lainey's role in this whole thing? Because what the heck? And then turns out Lainey actually has a passive ability she had no idea, which is he kind of charms people.
Yep.
Into basically kind of feeling sorry for her, and the only reason it didn't work eventually on Anis is because of the dragon magic. But eventually, people are like, "Whoa!" Like Tilty, like being warned about it. Whoa! I just felt it. If I didn't know, I would have fallen right for it. Because she just felt immediately like, why do I feel sorry for her?
Yep.
And it turns out, yeah, she has this passive magic, and because she has magicite embedded in her heart.
Yeah, I think there's some weirdness in translations on how this works because there's some discontinuity between what is being shown, what's happening, and what's being said, or at least the translations of what's being said. Because I think they said you have magicite in your blood, but then what happens with all later...
Yeah, like, she's got well, if it's in her heart, then it's also in her blood.
Yes, but like,
regardless, she has magicite. Was born with magicite in her. That's unusual. Why would she be born with magicite and have this ability to charm? And well, it turns out, interesting thing. She's a descendant of a vampire.
Yep.
Oh, some guy way back when tried to basically, take magic from people and extend his life out, and basically became a vampire. And she's their descendant.
Yep.
There's the descendant, and so they have to control this because part of the problem is like not using this magic properly is like harming her in the long run. So like they have to teach her how to use it, and then what they do? Why are your eyes red now?
They wake it up.
Also, you have fangs now. You're actually a vampire.
Oh, you're a descendant of a vampire, and it's causing problems. What do? We wake it up and make you a full vampire.
We actually make you a vampire.
All right. I guess that works.
And then from there, it's like, oh, hey, guess what? She actually has a thirst for blood.
Yep.
Now, and guess who's giving it to her?
Not like with Ilya provides.
With Ilya provides.
A little like,
considering the general eroticism around vampires, because that's kind of the whole point with vampires. It's the whole sexual thing. Yeah.
I think there's an age difference between those two, though.
Not sure, but
I'm not certain how much, but Ilya is definitely older.
Not that much older.
Not a huge amount. I don't know the details, but I'm pretty sure Ilya's older.
Regardless, there's definitely a thing going on.
There's definitely something.
Later scene pretty much confirms it. Because, that's the thing, is Algard has his own machinations. He's working with a couple nobles, including Chartreuse and Moritz.
Yep.
Who, clearly they're trying to do something.
Yeah, so as far as I can tell, the plan was, and there's kind of a mixed plan, is they found out about Lainey beforehand and set up a thing to use it to their advantage. Yes. Al's idea was that he was going to get the power so that he could use it to force the country into a change.
Yep.
Because he didn't feel that he was powerful enough anyway.
Yeah.
So he wanted to use Lainey to take her power.
Because there's a whole thing there.
What he didn't realize is that the nobles that pushed him into that wanted it a little different. Were using him so that, he gains all this power. So would they.
They'd be the shadow rulers.
And basically be shadow rulers and manipulate. So Al was manipulated, and he was already kind of emotionally weakened from his own upbringing. But yes, it then happened.
It's kind of easy to forget they're teenagers.
They are teenagers. They're not in the most emotionally stable state.
Yeah. So, that's the thing about that was we eventually see Al invades Anis's little workshop, hurts Ilya, and then, grabs Lainey and, takes her heart. Literally takes her heart.
Which is also now apparently just a solid chunk of magicite.
Yeah, and jams it into himself.
Somehow.
The whole thing there is...
And he becomes a vampire now, too.
Yeah, he's a vampire now, too. Including the ability to regenerate.
Yep.
But that was one hell of a way to end an episode, by the way. He just stabs her, and then the episode's over. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So the thing was, the reason for all of this, and we find it's interesting. He saw. We finally get some more context about particularly about Anis and Algard, Anis and Al, which is like their younger years, and they used to be really close. We get to the context in the sense he's always felt overshadowed by Anis, which is kind of including like the her abdicating like that, because like he's always felt like, but people are like, yeah, they might accept him as king, but eventually they go, yeah, but if only the princess had magic, he always had this inferiority complex regarding this. He always felt like people were always going to second guess him because he wasn't supposed to inherit the throne.
Right.
They're always going to second guess him. On top of that, there was a whole thing where when they were younger, they went out in the woods together because, they always played together, and they got attacked. And eventually they came back home and, injured, but they came back home alive. And that's when Anis decided to abdicate.
Yeah, because she started hearing rumors, because everyone was mumbling.
There's rumors that she went out to try to kill her brother.
Yep.
She tried to get her brother killed.
So she abdicated to try and...
make sure that everyone knew she had no intention of that.
Yep, that was not the case. Yep.
But unfortunately, he saw it differently.
Yep.
Because the whole thing there, when he saw that, he saw that as this kind of a... how do I put this? Almost like a pity? Almost like... How was it?
Yeah.
Almost like just kind of a pity thing, just giving him something that he never could have gotten himself.
Yeah.
And he hated that. And on top of that, he felt like she was drawing away from him. That was the other thing. He felt like she was drawing away from him because he just kind of did that without not talking to him or anything.
Yep.
And then that's the first time he ever really moved away from her. I guess got away from her emotionally
and they were never the same after that.
Yeah, ever since then, he's always felt like he has to prove himself, and he's trying to prove himself because part of the thing is he feels like he has never been good enough. He just feels like the country's rotten. He's gotten to a way he has recognized correctly that there is a rot in the country.
Yep. And that's another thing that we see undercurrents of the
nobility,
peasants versus the commoners versus nobles.
Yep.
And apparently, Algard and even the current royalty, royal family, knows about it and doesn't like it, wants to change it, but the last time someone tried to change it, it did not go well.
Yeah, I mean, orphans, the king's orphans literally had to put down a rebellion, essentially. Yep. And that was part of the reason he became a king in the first place.
So he wanted all this power so they could rule with an iron fist to enforce it.
Algard, all there. They decided the best thing to do was basically get absolute power, which not understanding why that doesn't usually work.
It's not usually how it works.
Basically, he had the idea that he could single-handedly fix everything.
As long as he had this extra power.
He just needed to make sure he had absolute power.
Yep.
Not realizing that's not how that works. That never works very well.
But it will work because I have the vampire power that charms everyone magically, and now I can't say no. That's probably the logic.
Oh, that's interesting because like that was one of the things that was brought up. Like, how does it not affecting you? And it's like it is. I feel terrible but I need to put my emotions below my duty.
Yep.
Okay. It winds up with Anis and Al having to fight each other, and like Anis beats Al eventually.
Yep.
And she does not want to fight him.
Nope.
All of a sudden, but yeah, eventually Yuffie intervenes and is like, "What the heck are you doing?"
The heck?
Yeah, so he's just lying there on the ground. I was like, kind of somewhat realized that maybe he's made some mistakes.
I may have made mistakes.
Some mistakes may have been made.
That scene, there was some interesting things, and where I was questioning like how Lainey and the Magicite and all that sort of stuff works. It was a little odd because Al rips her heart out, maybe rips the huge chunk of Magicite out. Whether it's her heart or not, I don't know. But she's laying there on the ground.
Massive hole in her chest.
Massive hole in her chest. Blood everywhere. Somehow still holding on to life, which is weird in itself. Explanation is latent vampire regenerative powers, keeping her alive barely.
Yeah.
And then Yuffie shows up with magical healing to maintain it. But then she's better because she gets a little bit of blood because blood magic.
Ilya gives it her.
Magic. All right. But like, didn't you just have your heart ripped?
Well, regenerating.
Also, it's also the change, like you have magic in your blood versus it's in your heart, and if he ripped it out, then wouldn't she stop being a vampire? But I guess not.
No.
And then it's a whole bunch of stuff that I just like questions I have that just have no answers. Nothing major. It's just a little like, huh.
I'm trying to. I get this. I'm having this weird feeling that I can't explain it, but I get this weird feeling that I can. There is an actual logical explanation that you're
I just don't
past
see it.
because you're not seeing it, and I don't know how to explain it to you.
Well, no, because I can see it. Like I have a few different theories in my head of how it can be explained. So it's not like it can't be. They just didn't. So it's like I see like 3 or 4 different options here, but I don't know which one is right. Which one did you take? Please tell me.
I don't. I see because I think one of the things I don't think that's a chunk of Magicite. The Magicite that you saw. I think that was her heart, but it has Magicite in it, and so the part of it is because that's what causes Magicite to flow through her blood. So she still had Magicite in her, but the problem was it was not really a lot, and she needs to recharge via blood drinking blood.
That's one of the options is that it didn't. Yeah, she was barely hanging on.
And then it restored everything when she,
and it didn't remove her powers. That's the big one.
Yeah, so that's what
I'm
then
thinking.
She's like, "Oh God, this still hurts. Why does it still hurt? Wait, how is he even standing?"
Right, and that's another thing. I think the Magicite was linking the two because he got hit and she got hurt.
No,
it was like one scene.
I think the thing the hurt was, it still hurt because she had a big gaping wound in her chest. Why is it still hurt even though it's healed? And then she's realizing, wait, how many times has Anis actually hit, slashed him, like massive slashes, and then he just regenerates? Like, oh my God, basically the whole thing is, oh my God, how is he still standing after all this pain?
Could be. Because the timing in the anime was kind of weird.
Then we see, he's barely holding it together. He's just going through the good old sheer willpower thing.
Yeah, but there was a weird timing on the thing where Anis hit Al, just sliced him, blood everywhere, and right after that, Lainey exploded in pain. It was like it made it. They never said that they were linked or anything, and there's just a weird timing thing.
I swore it was the other way around. It was she was in pain, and then they showed the slicing.
Maybe I've just seen too much.
And they're just basically the whole idea there was basically linking the two things, like of she's in severe pain, yet he's still fighting despite the fact he should be writhing in pain.
It could be.
Another thing about that scene was Ilya, the way she gave Lainey blood.
Bite my lip and kiss.
Yeah, and pour it in their mouth, and then that's the interesting thing was there. That's for me, it kind of confirms everything, which is Lainey grabs her and pulls her in. Like that's not just blood transferring anymore. That's a kiss too.
I can explain that one.
No, you can't. Homophobe. Shut up.
No, it's like when you're dying and you need blood, and all of a sudden it's there. It's like this is the thing I need. You just kind of latch on to it.
I don't know. To me, that looked kind of.
But no, I do think there's something between
vampires.
Those two. No, the big one is that Yuffie was going to offer, and Ilya went, "No,
me.
Let me."
Yeah,
that's the big one.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, so
that's my responsibility.
That's the secondary couple right there.
Yeah, I think with the linking thing, maybe I've just watched too much Dragonheart because there's a lot of similarities. There's a dragon. There's a sharing of a heart, and there's between the prince that's gone bat. Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, after the prince is dealt with, and he gets exiled essentially.
He admits his fault. Says everything.
And the king
gets exiled.
Disowns him, and he's exiled essentially. There's kind of a degree of like some, well, no forgiveness, but like kind of a, okay, yeah. Yuffie smacks him, and then he leaves. He kind of like, I screwed up, dude. No, I really screwed up. I really, really screwed up. I'm sorry. But yeah, basically it forces this issue, which is Anis, who, abdicated the throne, now basically, well, she's now the only sole heir, so she's now going to become queen again.
Yep. And
then, that's the final arc right there, is she's going to become queen, and it's pretty clear she doesn't actually want that, but she's doing it anyway because it's her duty.
No, she's okay. She's fine.
She's
I'm
fine,
okay.
though, right?
Daijoubu, though.
Yuffie and everyone else can see, like, she's not. Tilty's upset. Tilty's pretty clearly very upset. Yuffie also is doing the whole, duty first thing initially, then goes, no, I don't want that, though. I don't want her to be queen because she'll be miserable.
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Part of the problem is they realize
she's puking her guts up.
Yeah. The part of the problem is for Anis to be queen, she's gonna have to more or less pretend. Yeah, but yeah, the magicology thing, I'm just giving that up because, well, it's heresy.
It's heresy.
I can't do that anymore, so I'm giving it up.
And then there's the other really big thing,
which also she'd have to find get married to a dude and have a kid, and
she has to produce an heir.
Yeah. So she have to. Which means she has to marry a guy, and
she's not having that.
Yeah, Yuffie's. That's the other thing about Yuffie's also really upset about that part too.
Yeah.
Although she's not
taking
quite really,
a little bit to realize why
and verbalize it. That's the whole, and that's the other thing is what we have here is two gay idiots who are also self-sacrificing idiots.
Yep.
The problem is they're both willing to sell, and that's what you say. That's one of the big things. Is the culmination is the two of them are both willing to sacrifice their own happiness for the sake of the other. And the problem is neither one of them really want to back down from it because, well, no, I want you to be happy. No, I want you to be happy.
Yep. And it's not. Yeah.
Because one of the other
very
things,
low self-respect they have very low self-respect, I guess.
Yeah,
they don't think themselves
Yuffie,
high enough. The other person
took some of the wrong lessons from her dad, and her dad also may have kind of not made it clear though what I actually want for you.
Yeah,
it's like her whole thing is I have, because one of the things particularly early on was like, I need to do this because I need to prove myself to be the best, so I can basically bring honor to our family and also all this stuff. And she actually was like apologizing for the fact that Al, broke off the engagement. It's all clearly her fault, right?
Clearly her fault.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. And Anis, unfortunately for her whole thing is like she tied so much of her self-worth into being useful to others. At first, at one point it was, being, I guess, the princess, and then, next queen, and then it turned into, now I've got to be the magicology thing for everybody. And now it's like, well, I got to abandon that, and I got to prove, because her whole thing is like, I'm a failure of a daughter. She's seeing herself as a failure because if she can't be queen, then she's worthless. And
Yep.
And that's also hurting her too, is the fact that she feels like she's going to be worthless if she doesn't do this thing she hates the idea of doing.
Yep.
But no, I got to do it though.
And
then of course it's a bit of a
duty.
Bit of a Deus Ex Machina with Lumiel.
Yeah, and then we show up and they bring the thing back.
Yeah.
So then the spirit contract.
The whole spirit contract, which was there's a whole thing, they brought it up early on, which is the very first king of this country, like the spirit contract.
So it's not 100% out of the blue, but it is kind of like,
she made a spirit contract. It's actually Anis's ancestor. We don't know how far back, but pretty far back.
Yep.
Turns out, as she says, the only person who is both able and willing to make a spirit contract is Euphilia.
Yep. And the spirit contract is what established the royal family, so a plan is formed.
Yep.
In which Yuffie can make a spirit contract.
And then to get adopted into the royal family so she could become the next queen.
Yep. And because she got the spirit contract, the nobles will accept her because
that's the ultimate culmination of the religion.
That is what makes the royal family. So obviously, if she has the contract, then she's obviously worthy of the crown.
Yep. And well, they can't object because to anything.
The spirit said so.
The spirit says
they outrule everyone.
The spirit says she's worthy, so we have to kind of listen to her.
The Lady of the Lake gave me a sword.
Some watery tart. Anyway, so Lumiel, that's the whole thing, is he also reveals the downside of the spirit contract, which is that there's an immortality comes with it, but also it kind of makes you kind of lose connection with everyone because, well, you kind of outlive people, and then you live so long, you kind of forget what it felt like, being with them, and then you kind of forget that you forgot.
Yeah, I let a laugh at that. Here's all the things that I forgot about. It's gonna happen to you. Like, wait,
It's
how did you forget about them then? You obviously
because she wrote the stuff down, but she kind of forgets the feeling.
Yeah,
like,
that's
she knows it's a thing, but she can't really feel it anymore.
Yeah, yep.
It's
that's
so far
what it
removed
is,
from
but
it. It's
it's
like reading
kind of
about
funny.
a complete stranger's diary now. The things she wrote down, it's almost like reading a complete stranger's diary. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, the love you felt, you remember that they were a thing, but you feel no connection. That's really what it is.
We're able to recognize the actual, this is possibly a problem.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen to Ophelia. Unless. That's part of the thing. When Annie's found out, that's one of the things is, I can't let you do that.
You're going to forget me. You're going to forget everyone.
You're going to be miserable.
You're
going to be miserable. And so I can't let you do that. And then Ophelia's like, well, you're going to be miserable, so I can't let you do that. So then I have a whole fight.
Yep.
Big old fight, and then Ophelia beats Anis, although it's kind of funny she's able to beat her in part because of Anis's own
the sword.
The sword.
Well, that and the spirit thing.
Yeah, that too, but the sword kind of helped channel. It's like it's like, oh cool, you're kind of a partial architect of your own defeat.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes though, isn't it?
And so part of the reason is, although it's kind of implied that part of the reason she couldn't was not that she didn't fight back, not because really she couldn't necessarily, but because she didn't want to, because she saw and went, oh,
yep, you saw that one. Yeah, no, I'm done.
I saw that. That's a beautiful. I can't fight against it.
I can't. Yeah,
not necessarily in the sense that she couldn't, but like I can't bring myself to fight that.
Yeah.
So she lost the duel, which means Ophelia is going to become queen, and Anis doesn't have to. And then, Anis is now making the promise of, I am not going to let that happen to you. I'm going to do all this research. I'm going to find a way to basically...
I'll work on the immortality thing.
Like, even if I have to go the other way and become immortal myself, I'll do it.
Yep.
Which I'm considering the whole dragon thing.
The dragon thing might. It might not make her immortal, but I wouldn't be surprised if that alone extends her life.
We don't know, because dragons are always different depending on what mythology you're following. Because sometimes they're immortal, sometimes they're not.
Yep.
So, like... Because
dragons are always a nebulous thing.
Yeah, so that's the one thing about that. Yeah, so it's just like you see that. That's the interesting thing about this. Well, that's the interesting thing. The culmination, the big climax of this is not Anis fighting Algar.
That was one of the things that was weird.
A lot of shows would do that. Would be the climax.
That would be the season finale.
No, the climax is Anis and Yuffie fighting.
Yeah,
and for the fighting because they love each other and they've both come to they both realize that they love each other and they want each other to be happy.
Yeah, that was one of the weird pacing things. It's like we get to this big fight, even though with Al and Anis, and the fight was kind of quick paced.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of short, and but it also felt like a big finale. And this is only episode 8 or 9 or whatever it was. Like, and then they hit you with the big emotional arc. Like, okay, now what?
I don't know. I don't think it's a pacing
It wasn't
issue.
bad. It was just, all right. This is different than the norm, I should say.
Yeah, I would say it's not an issue.
It's not an issue. I just said it's different than the norm. It's good. I like it.
Because one of the things also we see,
different.
that's one of the things that always really cements things for Yuffie was she met some of the townspeople when they were out in disguise. Everyone knows Anis.
Everyone knows. It's like, oh, it's you.
Which is, they see that she's got a genuine connection with, like, all these commoners, which is unusual for a while. And that's part of the reason why she wants to do this in magicology. She wants to give the gift of magic to the common person.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of the common people don't want her to be queen. It's not because they don't like her. It's because they know that she's queen. She won't be able to...
She won't be able to do that. Yeah.
She won't be able to see them either. She won't be able to go out and be friends with them and everything. She has to kind of hole herself up in the castle, and that will be that.
And be a royal and do royal things and
be miserable.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so they have to basically fight each other. That's how Yuffie's gonna be queen, and the thing was because of that she's able to. Well, here look, these flying vehicles we came up with. We're gonna make them available now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's flying clothing too, and it's like, and then you see those old people are up, they're talking about tradition and stuff. We're all sitting there just kind of
don't like this.
It's like
I don't care.
It's like
what you gonna do about it?
It's like I got the spirit's blessing. What can you do?
Yeah,
I am literally the
like,
culmination of everything you've been preaching.
Yeah, Yuffie said that she had ideas on how to deal with the nobles, and you can see that Yuffie was in a meeting talking to the nobles about obviously whatever the plan was. You don't get to know what it is. You just see them talking, and there's no dialogue. So no idea what she actually told them to make them shut the hell up and let her do her thing. But she said something.
She's told them to pound sand.
Probably something along those lines.
I got a spirit contract. I got a spirit contract. I'm going to become a queen. I'm going to introduce some changes. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. They don't say what, but she obviously did something. There
So
was
we also
another
see,
scene,
it almost
though.
looks like, the orphans and his wife, Sylphine. That's it. That's his mom, and his mother shows up eventually because turns out she's like, does like diplomatic stuff.
Yeah. You know what?
It looks like they abdicated already.
Oh yeah, we see
Yeah,
they didn't.
'cause they're farming.
Yeah, it's abdication. Is it abdication?
Yeah, it's
When
abdication.
When you when you just
When you
retire
step
and
down,
pass
it's
off, when you
abdication.
step down. Yeah,
It's also abdication.
They abdicated the throne. Yeah. Yeah, when they chose that, they abdicated because we learned earlier that that's all he wanted to do in the first place was just garden. He wanted to be a gardener. He loved tending to his garden.
They brought it up
couldn't.
with Grant's, the prime minister's friend. Is like that's the thing was Grant's had the opportunity to make a spirit contract, but he declined it because he found out what it would entail, and he didn't want that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the thing because Lumiel specifically said there's only one person who has the ability and the desire to make the contract.
So I'm noticing Ani's mom
Mm-hmm.
and Ilya look a lot alike.
Uh-oh.
Same hair and eyes.
Ilya is from a different noble house, though, so
Right. But I'm just noticing,
that's just coincidence.
Red hair, blue eyes.
That's coincidence.
All right.
Yeah.
There was another scene, though.
Yeah, there was a scene where it's like, hey, guess what? They finally have a talk about their feelings, and hey, guess what? Yuffie then kisses Anis.
Yuffie makes the move.
Yeah, and Anis is like, but wait, hold on.
Anis is like a dog that chases cars and doesn't know what the heck to do when she finally catches
Anis
one.
discovers she's a bottom.
Basically. Yep.
Yeah, because they kiss, and then Yuffie's like, Anis is like, no, you should do this only with someone you love. It's like, I do love you.
I know. You're right.
And then,
I did.
and then heavily implied they have sex.
Yep.
Heavily implied. Then later, of course, Anis kisses Yuffie on the cheek. It's like, why didn't you kiss me on the lips? And then Yuffie does it to her.
Exactly. She doesn't have no idea what to do when she finally gets one.
Yeah, and then they have their little show, the little dance in the sky and everything also. And
Yeah.
It's rainbows.
Though, technically, didn't Yuffie get adopted? Doesn't that make them sisters?
Don't worry about that. They're not by blood, so it's fine.
Stepsister. Oh, no, stepsister.
Besides, it's a royalty.
Yeah.
Nobility kind of does this sort of thing all the time.
That's kind of
they're not related,
part of the
though.
course for nobility.
Yeah, they're not related, so it's better
They're
than
not blood
nobility
related.
usually. Yeah, so that's not they're not as bad as nobility usually does.
What happened to your chin?
Regardless, so yeah, we get a bit of a brief epilogue, which kind of again, Yuffie gets the crown. There's a bit more beyond that, but yeah, they got It also makes it clear. This is just the beginning of their magical revolution.
Yeah,
the
didn't
beginning.
they say? Didn't the text at the end make a mention of like she's the last queen?
Yeah, they're
The
talking
last
about
royal, because
the narrative basically makes it clear that she's still going to be the last queen.
Yeah, that she ends the monarchy,
Yep.
or something like that, or I don't know. Maybe
Regardless,
that's the
yeah, it makes it clear. We don't see that story
They
yet
fix
because
it.
we don't see that story because again, that's in the manga and light novel, which again you should probably read if you want to know more. But yeah, this is basically a complete, I guess, act one of their story.
Yep,
it's a complete story in of itself, but it's only one piece of their life. It's a lot better than a lot of these anime adaptations do, which kind of awkwardly ends in the middle of something. Where it's like, that didn't feel like satisfying. What do you mean you have to go buy a manga to go finish the story? At least you got a complete story here.
Yep, a nice rounded out area. Good stopping point, I should say.
Yeah. So, regardless of that, let's see. This was so getting into some nitty gritty stuff. This, which is actually just thinking of the studio that did the animation is Diomedia. And yeah, they did a generally pretty good job. There's actually a lot of action scenes, surprising for kind of a lot of isekai kind of cheaps out. I've seen a lot of really cheaply done isekai because they're just pumping it out.
Right.
But like this did a pretty good job. That was the other thing was Anis also revealed to Ophelia that she's actually been reincarnated.
Yeah,
Like-
like she has memories of another life.
Yep. Actually, a lot of the stuff generally looked really good. Like they did some really good action scenes and stuff. They did a lot of good stuff in general. I felt like they did their animation budget smartly because they the whole we don't animate when you don't need to now. Okay, so we can save the money for this part.
Yep.
we're gonna do some really cool stuff going on. But yeah, what else have they done? Let's see.
Tankole.
Kind of cool. Oh, of course, there's kind of cool.
They've done
I
some.
see something gay
Kanko
there. Futzel Boys. There's something. Isekai. Oh, there's another Isekai. Diamond.
Oh, is that
Futsai.
Squid Girl? I think that's a Squid
Ahiru no
Girl.
Sora.
Yeah.
Beatless. Chio-chan's.
Sora.
Oh, Chio School Road. I watched that.
Yep.
Aho Girl. I've heard about Aho Girl. Yeah, and so they did that. It's a kind of cool movie. Girlish Number. Oh yeah, heard about that one. Kantai. Akuma no Riddle. I've heard of that. Akuma no Riddle.
Akuma no Riddle. Oh hey, there's a red-headed twin drill. Not that one though.
Yeah, so that's some stuff. Oh yeah, as for the voice actors, let's see. Annie is played by Sayaka Senbongi, who's I know I looked these up. Oh, she's Kikuri in Bocchi the Rock. She's the drunk bassist.
Yeah.
She's also Marcel in Dungeon Meshi. The nervous lesbian elf, probably.
And
she's also in Shangri-La Frontier.
Slime from 300. The 300 slime. Yeah.
Also Shangri-La Frontier and the character in the slime.
Apparently the other slime anime.
Yeah, she's actually one of the slimes in the in that slime anime. Weirdly enough, it's another character I saw her play.
Arknights.
Oh, she's also a minor character in Wonder Egg Priority.
Demon Girl Next Door, one of the side characters.
Yeah, I think that's the girl that works at the butcher shop.
Fight.
She's in JoJo.
JoJo. Pokemon
Hey, look, it's Aho Girl.
Evolutions.
I just mentioned that at the studio.
Skate Infinity.
Yep. No, she's also in
Beastars.
Attack on Titan.
Fate.
Yeah. And Yuffie is voiced by Manakawa Iyami, who, she's Akane in Oshinoko. The actress girl. She's also Bridget in Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
The Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers movie or whatever that is.
Exusai. Arknight stuff.
Oh, she's also in that doctor anime we did. She's the that other girl, the other doctor person who.
Yep.
Oh, she's also in that villainous anime that I'd watched. The going to be the best villainous or whatever it's called. Spy Family. She's Millie in Spy Family. That one girl keeps picking on Yor at work. She's Rice Shower. She's in Freeren as that one of the demons. Lots of stuff we've watched.
Exusai and Arknight.
Oh, Coconut and World Dai Star.
Hey, yeah.
The main character. Oh, she's Yui in MagiRevo, the missing sister.
Right, yeah.
And she's also in that's one we haven't never talked about. I want to do at some point. Execution or Way of Life. She's a character in that.
Fruits Basket.
Oh yeah, the main character in Fruits Basket remake.
Yeah.
I have to specify it's the remake.
Chammy from Wonder Egg.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's also Hotaru in New Egg or New Game.
Yeah.
New Game, yep, Hotaru. Ilya is voiced by Ai Kakuma. Oh, she's Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball Daima. Oh, she was in the Whispering Your Love Song Kaori, the Doomed one. Doomed by production, it woes. Oh, she was in that other. I remember talking about that. That weird, it's a secret fifth one I added that one time. That the reincarnation, the person turns into a girl and but just wants to fight, gets stronger.
Oh,
she's the cousin. Oh, there's Fruits Basket again, except different character. Oh, there's Azur Lane.
Azur Lane.
Oh, she's Misaka
Worst.
From Index.
Yep.
She's the older Misaka clone. The one who hangs out with Accelerator. Blech. Oh, and that's Zotrap.
Oh, God.
Oh, Monster Musume.
Laney, voiced by Hina Yomiya.
Yeah.
Not as many things.
No, for recall, she didn't have a whole lot of roles.
She is a side character in Mono, that one we watched a little bit ago. Minami from Oshinoko.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's not really. She's not really a side character. She's actually been appearing a lot in Mono.
In Mono,
recently.
yeah, but after season 3, after episode 3.
Yeah. That's not anime I've been wanting to watch. There's the Darkness in My Heart or whatever. Anna Yamada. She plays that character.
Darkness in My Heart.
There's Bang Dream.
A side character in Onimai.
Yeah.
One of the side characters
That was
there.
one of those. Tilty. Yu Sasahara. Tilty. Nope, she's also in Dungeon Meshi. Oh, she was Yayoi in the Dark Gathering, the kid with the skull pupils. She was her.
Oh yeah, that one.
She's also in Uma Musume as a character. Oh. Right, that devil. She's in Chainsaw Man. I know exactly which role that is. The Infinity Devil.
Oh, that devil. One. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, in the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in that one. I never finished watching that. The fishing anime.
Fishing
the girls.
Anime.
She's the one in the straw hat.
Oh, is that the Breakwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, Breakwater.
Oh, she's the main character in Kanagawa Jet Girls, which I have watched, which technically does qualify for this month, but I'm not sure if we should.
Oh, Lapis Relights. Remember that one? That
yep.
was a long time ago.
Let's see. Algard was voiced by Shogo Sakata. Oh, Chainsaw Man, the movie. Oh, the Windbreaker, which I always giggle whenever I see that name. This anime called Windbreaker. Windbreaker. Oh, he's in that. Which one was that? The Stories Magic Girls Couldn't Be Magicians. One of those characters in that.
Right.
Oh, Buddy Daddies. Oh, he's one of the characters in. Oh, he's the weird wizard guy in My Hero Academia. The wizard hero guy.
Wizard
who could do
hero
magic.
guy.
It wasn't really magic. It's just a quirk. Doesn't go back very far. Only to 2019.
The King, voiced by Kenji Hamada, is in the new Gundam.
Ah, of course. Oh, there's One Piece. He was in One Piece.
One Piece.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul's a big one.
Tokyo Ghoul Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, JoJo.
Another JoJo.
Oh, Pocket Monsters.
Pokemon.
XY. Pokemon XY. Oh, Gintama. Wow, since 1996. He was in Conan in 1996. Okay, that's as far back as it goes, though. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think that's more or less should be it.
Yeah, it should be it for the big characters.
Yeah. In the end, yeah, again, this is a wonderful thing. It's too bad that they're only going to get this one season. I mean, at this point, that's just how it'd be.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'd love to see another season.
See more, but at least there's a still ongoing manga and anime or light novel. So hey, if you want more, you can go check those out. Hopefully not something stupid like, oh, this is not being released in English.
Oh, yeah.
That would suck, but I think it's being released in English. Regardless. Yeah, it's really fun, and yeah, it's pretty gay. I mean, it's pretty gay, particularly at the end.
It is pretty gay.
particularly at the end.
Yeah.
Although apparently, I regularly remember this one kind of lighting another weird, stupid controversy when it came out because, of course, people just got weird about it. Can't help themselves.
Yeah, because it was explicitly gay right in the beginning. It's like, yeah.
Now let's come up with some weird,
and then
convoluted pretzel reason for why she's not gay, though.
Because then it didn't really come up a huge amount afterwards. It wasn't like they weren't like constantly macking on each other every single episode. Not that that would be a bad thing.
I would say argue that very much the episode slowly was making it clear that the two of them were.
Oh yeah, they were absolutely growing. Their relationship to each other was definitely deepening and growing. But since they weren't obviously making out every single episode, every time they were on scene, people are going to argue that it's not there.
Yeah. But regardless, it's a good time in general, and it's a good story as well. So yeah.
Yep.
Highly recommended. And yeah, it's just some really good stuff going on in there. So I guess that's it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, you can listen to past and future episodes as well on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. You can check us out there and subscribe to the RSS feed if you want. You can also find us on other locations, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcast Music, whatever the heck they're calling it now. So you can search for us on any of those and subscribe with those methods if you like to. And of course, you can also contact us via email newtoweeaboo@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments or anime recommendations. And of course, you could also follow us on our various social medias, all listed at newtoweeboo.libsyn.com/contact. If you want to follow us from there, just to follow us on whichever social media of your choice there. So that's it for this one. Next time it'll still be June, and we'll be talking about the anime Tadaima Okari. Which is going to be an interesting one, because I know I'm going to have to dig out some notes for non-anime things, because there's some stuff going on in that one.
Oh boy.
So we'll see you then. Happy Pride, all that stuff. Keep yourself safe. As safe you can be, anyway. So we'll see you next time.
See ya.